Hello, VC. How's everybody doing today? Hope everyone's doing well, feeling great. Got a couple records to share with you today. First off, Roxy Music Manifesto. Pick this up. I had this one, and I always thought this was supposed to be, I'm always confused about these editions EG. Some are half speed masters, some aren't, but I bought this probably in about 1981 or 2, just not too long after it came out, and I bought it brand new. And man, this thing just sounded so fantastic that it really woke me up to how good the Japanese records were. And I've had this one in my collection the whole time. And I was looking, and I happened to see was actually a couple of these, and I picked them up for a really good deal. Figured, I could flip them and make a little bit of like $5-6 or something on a record kind of deal. But what happened was I said, well, you know what? I need to compare it because I just assumed the other one would be better. Well, guess what? This one is better, especially on Angel Eyes. I put it on. I put actually it was I put on Ain't That So. Listen to that. Compared them. My Little Girl. Kind of compared that. And then I went to when I went to Dance Away, the third song, which they call it the West Side. It's kind of funny. They got the East Side and the West Side for the instead of A and B. They got East and West. That's kind of cool. But anyway, on Dance Away now, boy, was it ever better. I really could tell the difference a lot on that. So that was very interesting to find that out. So if you've seen these advertised or for sale, this is the original one with this OB on it here. That's the one to get. That's the one I'm going to have now. I found it to be better than this one here. Next up, I thought I'd just pull this out since we do a little bit of Roxy Music stuff here. This is a first edition of this LP here, For Your Pleasure. And boy, is it ever nice condition. This is a hard record to find now because the first edition Japanese, and look at it too, on the pink rim Island label. This is 1973. So we're talking 40-year-old record here, 41 years old record, and from Japan. So yeah, they're not just around every corner. These things aren't. And I used to have it's probably 10 years or so back, I used to have a first edition UK press on the pink Island like this. And then I got a Japanese press, but it wasn't a first edition. It was on the the red Polydor, which a lot of them were reissued on that label. And I thought that Japanese one sounded a little bit better than the UK pink rim. And then I found this because it kind of getting on this Japanese first edition thing. And boy, oh boy, did it ever sound a lot better than that Polydor label Japanese edition. So yeah, those first editions, they sure do sound nice. And speaking of which, we're back on Roxy Music again. This is Siren, of course. This is a really, really good record, as all these Roxy Music ones are. It's one of my favorites. This is again from, that was around 75, okay? 75 this came out. I was 20 years old when this came out. So this is a great record, a lot of great songs on it. And I bought this as a UK press. I probably had this for, oh boy, 25 years or something. I've had it for a long time. And it sounds so good, every time I got a little improvement on my stereo, I could put this on and I could really tell because it was so much fidelity on it. Well, here the other day, again with that same bunch of records I got from Japan, I got this. This is, the Japanese first edition, and I don't remember the label that it's on. Yeah, it's on that picture label, first edition label. And like I said, as I've said before, if you've been watching my videos, this UK press, I thought it was fantastic. It sounded just phenomenal. It was, man, because you play it and you're going, wow, that just sounds so great. Can't believe how good it sounds. And then I play this. Wow, now this is better. So it's about, what do you compare it to? Could I have lived with this for the rest of my life? Been happy? Sure I could have. But I was able to pick up a copy of this at a good price, and I was really thoroughly impressed at how good, what a difference from a UK first press to a Japanese first press, and how much more of a master tape sound that this has versus the UK press. Okay, so I talked about this on a previous video, this Moody Blues Question of Balance. Now this record is from 1970, which now this record is not this one. This is a reissue, but this Japan first edition, now this is a 44-year-old record, and I've talked about this before. This is a Friday Music reissue, and of course all I had to compare it to was a Canadian first press, and this was a lot better than that Canadian first press, which it should be, because it's quite pricey. Brand new, 180 gram, supposedly, from the master tape and all that. But this always happens because, as I think I explained a little bit in one of my earlier videos, I looked for this record. This is about the only Moody Blues record I didn't have on a Japanese first edition label. And it's on, of course, that white threshold on the THL, the number, the letter down here, THL-2. And of course, I just bought the Friday Music one, and I was happy with it. But you know what? In the voice and the certain things it sounded like it was more of a second edition than an actual first edition, and didn't have that breath of life in the voice. And so it always happens. I bought this one. A week later, yeah, I see this on there, because I was going to price the one that the Canadian issue. So I figured, well, as long as I'm looking, let's see what else is out there. And there it was. And I think it was $24 for a 44-year-old record from Japan. That's basically, it was supposedly like near mint. It's a little bit less. It's like an EX Plus type of thing. Sounds really good, perfectly. And here's the bottom line: is what? Yes, this one's better. But I'm gonna give props to Friday Music. Now they did a really good job of this. I had to compare it quite a bit, back into quite a few times. And then, one day I just quit, and I went back today again, and I listened to it some more. And it sounds really good, but listening to it, it doesn't have. There's a little bit of a definition, of a detail in some of it. Now it does have a little bit better bass, but just because it's got a little bit deeper tone to it, sometimes maybe even, that doesn't impress me to the point where it's obscuring some of the realism that this one has. He's singing there. It really sounds like he's singing, like he's there. And when he's singing on this one, it sounds like he's singing, but it sounds like a recording of him singing. That's kind of what I'm saying. The Japanese first presses and a lot of those half-speed masters and that type of record out there, that's what they do. they're able to have that, impart that breath of life in especially in the vocals. And then of course, a lot of times too, you'll get a lot more spatial information where the sound stage opens up. It's a lot bigger. It's just not concentrated in between the speakers. So I thought I'd share that with you. And of course, you know what I do, if I find a record from a Japanese seller, I try to buy more than one, because you know it's $15 to ship one record, and it's like, you know, maybe $19 to ship two, and 23 or 4 to ship three, that kind of thing. So the more you buy, the better off, you know, the cheaper it gets in the long run, because of the shipping, gets the shipping cost down. So of my top 100 records, this is one of them, Miss Billy Cobham Total Eclipse. And when I was able to pick up some of those, you know, some of these Japan Roxy music records, I saw this and I'm like, finally, you know how long I've been looking for a Japanese edition of this Billy Cobham Total Eclipse record? Man, I've been looking and looking and looking. They're just not there. It's a super hard record to find. And so I picked it up and I was waiting for it to get here. And then when I went to buy the Moody Blues record, okay, I said, well, what else has he got? Maybe he's got something else. And of course, you know, there it is. Story of my life. You look for something for 10 years, you never find it. As soon as you buy one, bang, there's another one. What's up with that? I don't understand it. But here's the bottom line. I bought this because it was just such a rare record, I hadn't seen it. And, you know, I'm just using a first edition Canadian press. So I got this. When I got it, put it on the turntable, wow, what a difference from that Canadian first edition. This is so much better. But when I saw this one, I realized this is the actual Japan first edition now. So then when I got this, I compared them, of course, and this one, it's like a step, another step up. Again, you can really hear the difference in the recording from the, this is probably a second edition, because it says it's like 10th year anniversary for Warner Pioneer, 1980 on there. And this is a 1974 this came out, pretty sure. Something like that. Yep, 74. 74 this came out. So this is obviously a reissue. You know, I didn't look that close at it, and even if it was a reissue, I hadn't seen any of it. And one of my favorite records, boy, this thing gets me going. This is a great record. A lot of great guitar work. And it's got a lot of horns in it, a lot of stuff that I like. And of course, Billy Cobham's a great drummer. So you can't go wrong. So that'll be it for my video for today. If anybody out there has any suggestions for a video, or if they've got any questions to ask me, feel free. I like answering questions on there about anything really. It doesn't have to pertain to these records or whatever. Just drop me a line on the remarks part of this, and I'll be glad to help you out if I can. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.